Turn the lights back on. Wow. Retro electro tech. When real audio ruled the world.
Greetings once again, ladies and gents. This is Retro Ernest of Retro Electro Tech. And I have on the bench here this Yamaha gigantic and enormous GT2000 turntable. And I'm going to be going through and doing some restorative work and just preventative maintenance, and I'm going to get into that in just a moment here. But let me go ahead and zoom in on the tone arm base, and here we are at the bottom of the tone arm base here, and the customer wanted me to install this accessory auto lift. It's called a YAL 1, YAL, Yankee Alpha Lima 1, and it's an auto lift for the tone arm. So I got these modules installed. I'm going to reinstall the base back to the plinth, of course, and after that I'm gonna get back underneath this unit and take care of some restorative work, some recapping, checking things over, and then I'm going to perform some final testing and make sure everything is working as it should. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, and here we are on the underside with the internal power supply board and the motor control or driver board here. There's no service manual for this that I'm aware of. I looked around. The only thing I found was a owner's manual, and that's in Japanese. So anyways, but not a big deal. Now the internal power supply board, I say internal because there is an aftermarket external power supply that the customer is going to be using, and but in the event that the internal supply is utilized at some point or whatever, I am going to go ahead and check things on this board, look through things, check component values, the usual stuff I do is what I'm trying to say. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that board. I'm sure you can see the glue here that's adhering these caps to the board there, kind of stabilizing them like they always do. This is that glue that as it ages, it starts to kind of harden. This is already kind of flaking away here. And it's in contact with this resistor lead. I believe it's kind of engulfed this diode over here. But this looks like the corrosive variety, which will keep darkening and will harden. It's kind of losing its elasticity. So anyways, for the sake of future-proofing things, I'm going to yank these caps out. It's a good idea anyways, even if these caps are okay. And I'm sure that all these caps in here are okay, the electrolytics, but the customer wants this unit recapped for the sake of future-proofing things. That's the point. So I'm going to get that done, and let me go ahead and zoom in a little more. And I also cleaned out this bearing well or housing and put some synthetic oil in here just to kind of freshen up everything. So that's looking good there. Now let me zoom on over to the other board. Okay, and again, this is our motor control or driver board. So there's a few electrolytics scattered about. Not very many of them, but again, I want to go through this board and just kind of check component values because again, that's what the customer wants me to do. And although an electrolytic recap is probably not real critical, I agree that for the sake of future-proofing this turntable, especially being that the customer is out of state, so if something goes wrong with one of these caps, then he's not going to want to ship it back. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but I wouldn't want to if I was him, because this thing weighs an absolute ton. He actually drove this unit to me some time back. I've had it in the shop for a long time, and it wasn't a real priority at the time, so I just kind of housed it here for a while until I could get to it. And anyways, moral of the story is I want to make sure that everything, you know, on the bottom side here, the electronics are looking good as far as component values, everything within tolerance, you know, high quality electrolytics, good fresh electrolytics in here, again, for the sake of future proofing things. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. What I'm going to do is go ahead and get all of that done, including the external power supply that I have on another bench. I'm not even going to hone in on that. No need to. It's just a straightforward linear power supply, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's what he's going to be using with this. And it's good to have an external power supply anyways, and you know, that's a good thing he was able to get that. The external power supply, excuse me, is known as a YOP1, or Yankee October Papa 1. And again, from what I understand, they're available in Japan. So again, just another accessory that I'm going to be going through and working on for him, mainly just recapping it, like I said, and just, you know, doing the usual, checking component values and making sure everything is functioning as it should, that voltages are sitting where they should be, and all that good stuff. So yeah, just it's all about just refurbishing this turntable and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then I will flash back in a part 2 video where I'm testing everything and, you know, going through, you know, performing adjustments and all that stuff. So anyways, that's about it. Till part 2, as I always say, peace, love, music, and the vintage audio that brings it to your ears. Till next time, take care of yourselves.
This is a poor man's shoe production.